be quite a few battles exchanged in some of those choke points, and then in response, because of the lack of shields, so those that can stall that space are going to be very valuable on the side of defense, hence why we do see the Tachanka and the smoke straight out the gates. And that will be in response to the likely default hit here on offer, but the versatility of the Tachanka means that you can actually space out either side, even if they go for the R6 back hit as well. I like the addition as well here of Beers on to the Warden, with the Glaz available, the Capital also in play. He can position himself as a valuable anchor throughout this round as well.
I was just looking at the previous bans for both of these two in their first respective games. Yeah, men LFO really just don't like playing against the shields. They banned out the Blackbeard and the Monty on Lair, and then on their second map of Chalet, they banned out the Blackbeard, Monty, and the Blitz. They actually didn't get a chance to even showcase their third ban on Lair because it did finish in a 7-1 victory for Man Esports. SHAIIKADEMY on the other side only banned out the Monty once across 3 maps. That was it. That was the only shield ban. So that is going to be something to keep an eye on. And Sean and SHAIIKADEMY will probably have done their homework and realize, well, we might only get 3 rounds with this blitz, so we may as well just bring it from the get-go.
Okay, early from Sean. Pretty uncontested already over towards Mez, so he has good space and layering pressure now onto the defense already pretty early on into the round. SHAIIKADEMY will be pretty happy with this early result. Doesn't stand for much if they can't then activate the hard breach and start posturing for the plant, but it's at least something to keep the rest of this defense honest. And it means that Beers as well is pretty occupied here under quite a bit of pressure. The blitz into the Warden, though, doesn't quite mix. Util clearance is good, though. The Rotary making things challenging for Beers, and SHAIIKADEMY able to find at least the first 2 elements, finds 1 back in the meantime.
I think Biz did a decent job there. I know he doesn't get a kill, but he just kind of held things up. He was a little bit of a nuisance to deal with. Nice kill onto Elements, though, to play in behind Sean. Kaken very low on health. Sharky can't hit his shots, though, and down to just Hunter. Still winnable, though, for Hunter. No Gas Babes left, but considering the health margins of Kaken and Arcadum, never mind. It's going to be pretty easy in the end for Arcadum to hit that shot. Finds the angle. And SHAIIKADEMY will take the opening round, and they do so on the attack.
Yeah. Look, it was, again, really just a good tempo play there by activating the blitz early and getting control in through lobby. They were able to flood and overwhelm positions like the Warden, for instance. And so Man LFO did fall away at the seams pretty early on there. But a lot of that was good util placement from the attack. And again, good positioning from the blitz. And so played out in a little bit of a different fashion than maybe anticipated off the back of the bans, with, you know, the hard breach denial capabilities taken off the board. Probably expected it to be a little bit more slow and structured there, and maybe that was part of the reason why it did catch that defense out, because it was anything but.
A really good set play. That's SHAIIKADEMY off to a good start here on the opening map of Lair. Is their map pick? I mean, off the basis of the previous series, though, I don't know how much we really put into the map picks on a day like today. Sean, once again, will bring the blitz. I think you could make a pretty comfortable guess that Man LFO will ban that blitz away after the 3rd round. They already have a history of just banning the shields anyway, and if Sean and SHAIIKADEMY are getting success from it, well, it makes it an even easier decision. The basement for the 2nd round. Man LFO, when they played this map of Lair, they only had 2 defensive round opportunities. They did win both of those. Of course, one of them on the top floor. They're attacking half. That was so good as Hunter finds the early kill on Tirani. That's a wonderful shot at the window. Much better start for Men LFO. Rush in now from Shont. Beers tried to turn around to catch the timing on the pistol play from Shont. He just mistimes it. Shont has got at least a kill back, and so far the blitz has been very valuable for SHAIIKADEMY.
4 versus 4. Elements still up above, though, could probe and cause a threat, especially against the SHAIIKADEMY lineup, suggesting that they'll want heavy vert control. In the meantime, over towards yellow stairs, Sean's been able to gain ground now and transitions that in through warehouse, and much like the last round, may start posing a threat in towards site. Another 1-1 trade. Can Sean go for plant here? Maybe. Baits out util.
The gas babes are just pushing him out of that plant opportunity. A flash has been avoided there by Hunter. Still has 1 gas babe left, but over a minute. SHAIIKADEMY can control the tempo if they like. No first floor control at all for the defense, with Kaken still in security. It offers a point of difference here for the attack. Sean once again just covers his feet so quickly when the threat is there. Arcade headshot. And now the trade to come through from Pluto. This might force Kaken down, and certainly forced Sean to pull the pistol out. I mean, he's been doing well so far with that. Kaken has now dropped. He's now basement as well. It's playing behind Sean. Play together inside the last 30 seconds. They do have kit, but arguably going to need to find these 2 kills. Elements can also get info on the Soul as Kaken's desperately searching to find something. Out of possession, got the down onto Pluto. Might not fully be aware of that. A shot goes to the plant inside of the smoke. It's actually going to be the revive from Elements onto Pluto. And then immediately Pluto just steps up, headshot onto Kaken. Sean then got off the kit. He was about half a second away. Got the pistol kill though onto Pluto. Forces the 1v1. Needs to chase him down with a pistol. Elements hits the headshot. And we are tied after 2.
Wow, that was a very chaotic round. Sean was alive for so long in that round, despite being the one to spearhead that attack initially on the blitz. He valued his life nicely. The rest of the team tried to play around it. We saw a good late push from Kaken as an example, but it whittled down to a 1 versus 1, and Sean unable to close that gap. Here it was, 50 seconds. It started to look pretty good. The res was quite impactful as Pluto then immediately responded with the late trade onto Kaken. Credit to Elements here. He does a good job in spacing out the shield, created that distance, and was able to get the result.
You just get the feeling there might not be a lot to separate between these 2 teams. Maybe a very similar level. So the clash being brought now from Sharky. Shot will go to the blitz 1 more time, and you would imagine should be the last time.
5 seconds to go.
Probably has actually been the most impactful operator that we've seen out of the attack for SHAIIKADEMY. So man, LFO will have a pretty easy decision made for them. We get Bunks and Briefing not electing to go back to the top floor just yet for man LFO after they lost it in the opening round. We want to see how they go on the tertiary site first. And Beers is going to be the one to watch for me. 0-2 start, guys, but again, in both of his deaths, he's offered probably a point where he could have gotten something. I don't mind the idea of the flick turnaround shot. Again, shot in the previous round. If he hits that headshot, it's a wonderful play. And in the first round, he held good composure as well on the Warden. Didn't get rewarded, but yeah, as long as he keeps that same mindset, he could have an impact in this half.
Here's the sense.
Gonna give it a quick hit.
Shallow plan.
Yeah, too easy.
Okay, there's no coverage.
There's
On the
no
horizontal.
coverage at all. Like you're dead to Beers, but you're also dead to the guy above from Sharky. So
Okay. He's just dead. Beers?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he is. This is a strange attack from SHAIIKADEMY. I guess in some ways, when you go for this sends direct play to try and block off the line of sight, the ROUs, it's an all or nothing play. And when it doesn't work the first time, you kind of have no choice but to probably just try and stick that plant down and hope for the best. I think very rarely do you see that play be successful, only against teams that are unsuspecting of it. Against the best teams, the top-down clears usually the best strategy on Bunk's Briefing. Going to give Van LFO a 2-1 lead. They'll head into the ban phase as well. Arcanum does get a kill onto Beers. I mean, they could have just done this from the get-go. Elements with the advantage against Arcanum finally shuts him down. He's got 5 kills in 3 rounds. Good start for him. Kaken yet to get involved here in the 3rd round, and now left with a lot to do. Acquires the kit, thinks about the plant, forces out the spray from Elements. The power of the Solus just gets free information as to where that plant potentially could go down. Kaken drops the kit, picks it back up. He's playing some shenanigans.
Yeah, it feels inevitable at this point that Kaken will fall. A bit of a half-baked attack, and it doesn't quite work out. Kaken fakes it for yet another time, but man, LFO are able to collect good work from Beers on site. Does a good job to deny those attempts and stay alive.
It was Sharky who denied the first one.
Sorry,
Beers
yes,
was going to, but
yes, denied the second.
That's the thing, though, is that it's insult to injury, because you died to the guy above anyway, which is typically what you want out of the ROUs, is to be able to not just help with any horizontal pressure, but also because they're so tall to block off potential sightlines from above. But then Beers was going to get the kill anyway. Like, he literally just walked up to him. There's just no one covering for the direct, retake. It's a strange round. We'll watch it back here. Like, where's the rest of the team? Like, look at this.
Well, they can't see that. They're blocked by the sense themselves.
No, exactly. But, like, he doesn't even get... Like, Beers is not even the one that got that kill, but he was going to.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just really a case of probably being a little active on the defense and swinging and giving a chance back to the attack until finally was shut down. Nothing really that Kaken could do there. The Blitz ban, no surprises. The Clash ban makes sense considering you don't have any shield bans yourself, so you kind of have to force the Clash ban. We saw it in the previous round played by Sharky. You just can't go into the second portion of this half with the 3 shield bans and allow them to play the Clash. You're just going to set yourself up for disaster.
5 seconds to insertion. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
You see me? Navigate in position. Throwing an F-Naught. Reload!
So we return to the top 4, the Blitz off Clash as well. So the shields have been decimated on this ban phase. Last time we saw Shont gain really good ascendancy and control over towards this main stairs position early on, and that's no longer going to be really a high percentage option now for the attack. It's probably going to have to lean back towards a more old school upside, chip away at the util with the Kaid and the Bandit bans, and then try to draw out as much of that denial util, of which there's quite a bit. Double Nitro, Tachanka as well. No smoke this time around, and maybe that alleviates a little bit of pressure, but still going to be a struggle here. If you're the attack of SHAIIKADEMY, you want to be trying to chip away at this defense and drawing out that utility as soon as possible. The longer you leave it, the stronger this defense hold gets. They do have the additional element here, a bit of back pressure as well, so anticipating that to split the attack a little bit. Doesn't necessarily have to be, and it won't be a full stack upside, which is obviously a wise idea, as Elements almost gets caught there. A little bit awkward. Last time out, they did a good job in clearing out this position from Beers. Aided, though, by the Shont shield. They don't have that this time around, and so Beers will be a little bit more comfortable in holding that anchor position. As I say that, though, there is some main stairs pressure now. Don't mind this at all.
Good kill onto Beers. Trade it immediate, though, from Elements. Switched on, and a good shot onto Reelers. Elements 6-1 has been a difference maker so far for Man LFO after they succumbed in that opening round. Kaken, though, gets rid of Sharky. That's the Tachanka off the board. That's a big pick. A little trade down onto Elements, but they lose Rani. Pluto shuts down Shot, and Kaken with it all to do. He's got 50 seconds to clutch a 1 versus 2 with no utility left for the defense. He does actually have a drone in pocket, along with the Selma. 35 seconds, Kaken low on health. He is, of course, very cautious with his positioning. Hunter and Pluto just giving him absolutely nothing. The brothers in arms. Just playing tucked in, knowing the Kagan will take his time. He's trying to force them out, not even close to the kit. This round should be done. Man, LFO will go 3-1 up. That's just wonderful patience from the two defenders.
Yeah, pretty confident response then back on the top floor. And I think that the blitz ban there is certainly helping out. Yes, there was that mainstays pressure late, but it just made this clear here a little more stalled out, a little more displaced. Elements did a really phenomenal job. Good prone off angle initially, gets the second and was able to have continued impact throughout that round. And then also well disciplined in the 2 versus 1 to not over-present opportunities there to Kaken, who had a good read himself, but just was not given those ones. And so can't really fault him for not being more competitive in that clutch attempt. Back to basement. 3-1 scoreline. And so far, this match is kind of just developing at the expected rate. I don't think we've seen enough to really make too many assumptions as to how this one will develop further. I think for Man LFO, they'll be looking to find success here at basement, and then it probably all comes back down to dorms, which was particularly underwhelming from SHAIIKADEMY last time out. And if they can refine that, maybe win it, then yeah, it makes for a very tight contest.
You know, it's kind of just back to the script for Ben LFO after the blunder in the opening round. I remember as well, they were very good on the attack back on week 1 of this map. The SHAIIKADEMY cannot really allow this to play in the conventional sense. They themselves, though, were quite good defensively. Hunter, I thought he was maybe going to get timed on the swing. The barricade was there, though. He was always safe. Oh, Nitrocell for Man LFO in this round. They're playing somewhat aggressively on this first floor and not just opting to fall back. I mean, it is 2 minutes on the clock. You don't want to give up too much space too early. And so they just play the stairs positions now. Honestly, SHAIIKADEMY have done a decent job, and maybe at the hand of the snake and arcing him with potential air jabs. He's going to use a second one now to just take as much control of this first floor as possible and just force them back into these tucked in stair positions, back towards basement. Let then Kaken on the sledge open things up towards armory. Well, they haven't netted a kill. I think this has been a decent attack so far for SHAIIKADEMY.
That's a really strong mirror position from Hunter. Although the attack's been able to split and activate that Habana now, so that's some good work from SHAIIKADEMY and now dislodging that particular position. Hunter commits.
Oh,
Shamika launcher though. Oh, that was not ideal. And a team kill from Sharky. Uh-oh.
He was dead anyway.
Probably.
That's a good little stack push from SHAIIKADEMY, and there wasn't really much that Pluto, Elements, and Beards could do to help out Sharky and Hunter, and that's given them a spot into the site now. Well, the trade game can certainly go in towards the attack. Oh, Elements got his Yokai stuck, couldn't get out in time. He'll be disappointed with that one. And then Rani had him covered. SHAIIKADEMY, that was a wonderful attacking round on basement to get their second attacking round win. Really well set up. Good teamwork, good utility usage, the layering of the nades to push him back down to the stairs, and then the flames as well. Really helping them clear that mirror position. Now 3-2, 1 round to go in the half. You just get the feeling this is going to be a real tense series.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. go.
Well, it seems to be shaping up now to be actually quite a fiercely competitive game. But again, this dorm site
Shell and play.
is going to be very, very interesting. Last time out, of course, we saw the failed sense play from SHAIIKADEMY, and whilst it hasn't necessarily been banned out, they're going to refrain from going for that once more, and I guess that's probably understandable, given that it did fall short of the mark last time around. They do still have a bit of utility that they can use for a similar-esque kind of play. You can activate the Capital smokes, for instance, cover lines of sight, etc. And you have the Grim Bees as well to maybe try and disperse those deep on the horizontal denial. But consider top floor still to be a must contest. We didn't see much of that at all last time out, and I would envision that we see a little bit more action above here from SHAIIKADEMY.
Well, Elements with the opening pick of the round. That's a good headshot onto Shot. Gets through to the Grim. No Kwan Hive Launcher available for the remainder of this one. Active on the defense for Men LFO, and Beers will double down on the first floor. Shuts down Rani. No Dockerby. Compliments him with the NS. Beers says thank you very much. That was just his second kill of the half. Might just pick up the confidence going into the second half. And Men LFO now looking like they'll get to that targeted 4 defensive rounds unless Cake and Arcanum. Sandreals, oh, this is just an absolute beatdown to close out the half of Men LFO. It started on shaky ground after losing the opening round, but they were able to nail home the advantage by the end of the half. A 4-2 lead heading into the second half.
Have you heard about the latest thing? Everybody's jacking in. Innovation's here to conquer the nation. Just come along and get right in. This is how it's done. Come on, we've already begun. Now keep your arms down to your sides and move them in a circle. That's right, just like that. You're steaming up, better get them hips moving. Here we go, look out. Yeah, we gotta take it slow, baby. We got a long way to go. Oh, let's dance the choo-choo, baby. We'll be swinging all night. Yeah, it's the choo-choo, baby. We'll be dancing until the morning light. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do from 9 to 5. When you hear the key whistle calling out your name, you're moving to the station for a ride. When you got that rhythm, it's an untouchable sound. So get on track, find your entourage. It's a free ride, get on board. Oh yeah, we'll be dancing from dusk till dawn.
Well, happy days for Men LFO at the end of the first half. You saw Sally there just briefly, guys. I think he would have been pretty happy with their response after losing the opening round on Master and R6. Certainly would have raised a few alarm bells a little bit when you give up that site to the attacking team in the opening round, but they stabilized really nicely. And certainly off the back of just finding early advantages, being able to get 4 of the last 5 opening kills. They started to probably get better really as the half went on, outside of that one round in lab in round 5. That was only their one big loss, I think, and then to close on a flawless note is a really good sign as well for them. So 4-2, and for Men LFO, again, back in the opening play day, they had a 5-1 attacking half on Lair. So it's going to be interesting to see if that same attacking prowess is going to follow suit into the second half now. The bans, Kaid, Bandit, and along with the Thermite, Monty.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So we return to the top floor as anticipated. The band's, yeah, somewhat similar. focus on the hard breach denial just to try and ease and alleviate some of that pressure for the attack to not have to worry too much about that causing problems. The elimination of the Thermite as well is an intriguing one here from SHAIIKADEMY. Thermite now with 3 exothermics, relatively strong, pretty well versed and multidisciplined now. Not just useful in terms of exterior hard breach walls, but also can be a little more versatile again in opening hatches, etc. And that comes into play for basement. And so by restricting some of that utility, you can try to slow down the attack at least somewhat.
Attackers are moving out.
In terms of
Locate a
the
bomb and
composition from the defense, SHAIIKADEMY out of the gate electing not to go the Tachanka route. Instead, they will bring the Echo. So they do have the double formal plant denial in that regard. They also have the Nitro as well from Kaken. So we'll see how that looks to play out. The Blackbeard, though, that could be the ace up the sleeve for this attack when you think about pushes through main lobby or the Blackbeard's ability maybe to contest the likes of the green side push, etc. If Shark is able to utilize that shield correctly, it could be quite powerful. On the topic of hard breach, that's the primary that was up of ace taken out. Question mark in chat, and Pluto gets caught. I don't know if Pluto's tried to either sneak into side or caught holding a passive angle. Either way, though, it's advantage to defense.
Good start for SHAIIKADEMY. This is going to be the one site that you would imagine, even for main LFO, will be difficult to crack. It'll be the other sites where I think they'll have probably more success. Second opening kill for Arcanum as well. Has been their best, 7 and 4. It's got a 130 EPS. What this does is just slows things down as well. You lose hard breach. Opportunity to open up mask is gone now as well. Obviously, there's the battle towards Mez. BS will fall. He's having a rough game at the moment. Arcanum gets involved again. He goes 8 and 4 now and leaves Hunter and Elements with a lot to do in this round. Very difficult. 2v4s are always possible. We've seen that alone today, but a Master and R6 having to push into site makes it closer to very, very low odds. And more damage from Kaken into Hunter with that shotgun as the glasses were activated. I think Elements is just at the point now where he's just hoping someone runs across his screen or makes a misstep. Or Hunter does catch out Arcanum. He was low, but hit the headshot anyway. Vendetta out now for Elements, and suddenly a little bit more likely if SHAIIKADEMY go for a throw. Rani went for the peek. Luckily, though, Shont was there for cover. Gets the trade. Leaves Hunter now in the 1 versus 2. Knows where Kaken is and should have the idea as to where Shont is located as well. And he's got kit. 15 seconds. Spray's not landing. And he knows now he's in a position where he has to either go for the kills or go for the plant. He went for the first one. Didn't work out. And a good start to the second half for SHAIIKADEMY.
Yeah, pretty clean. A little scary at the end. Typically can be like that with the Deimos still remaining, but overall, yeah, pretty good work there to be able to stabilize the round. And again, this ledge, it continues to seesaw back and forth. These two looking very competitive at the moment. I think the matchups are lending itself to that. And so it's actually been quite enjoyable to watch so far. In terms of standout players, at least for Lair, across these first 7 rounds, big shout out to Elements, who's currently sitting on a 180 APS, gone 11-4. Not sure if that's entirely inclusive of round 7 yet, but he's posting big numbers. And whilst there hasn't been a massive standout performer for SHAIIKADEMY, Arcanum's also been hitting that scoreboard well and positive entry 2-0. So both teams having some good glimpses at the moment. Basement, can this be a big determining factor for both teams? I like men LFO. They're not backing away though from leaning into the shields. It seems this half is the Blackbeard initially for Sharky back round 7. Early selection here onto the Blitz for round number 8. Now, of course, that's pretty high risk into the Warden, which was as well shown in that last round. And so I wonder how that's to be utilized. Kaken doing a very, I vividly remember him doing this exact same setup previously as well on this position. So probably looking to fall off down blue, maybe try and you know, force or slash bait the warden in as a bit of a trap here play. See if it works. I anticipate the shield is probably going to be used for map clear as opposed to a direct, but there is quite a bit of drone work actually over towards basement side warehouse at the moment that I'm seeing the attack flick, so maybe that's indicative of something direct.
Ooh. Oh, what a shot from Arkham. Another opening kill from him. They've only had 4 in this entire map. He's had 3 of them. And there's Hunter on the box. Sharky wants to start maneuvering around the map on the blitz. Elements wary, though, of the first floor pressure still there from Kaken and Rani. Arkham shot down by Pluto. That's a big kill for Man LFO. Shuts down the best player for SHAIIKADEMY. Sharky can't time the shot into the back from the blitz. Elements gets rid of Rani as well. He's 12-4. Lost his life, but numbers prevail. Man LFO have really opened up this round now. Down to Sharky and Pluto. Reelers and Kaken are so low. For all intents and purposes, as that first Nitrocell misses, this is Man LFO's round to win. And Pluto hits the headshot. Kaken does still have a Nitrocell, but so low on health. And with the blitz in play, this Nitro has to connect. It doesn't. It got shot out. And Kaken is now in a very tricky position. Glass is activated. He absolutely shits on Sharky. And now in the best chance to clutch this, he cannot though.
Poor.
Did you think he won? I think he thought he won for a second.
I was looking across at my spreadsheet, so I can't comment on that, but wow. Again, another very tight, close, competitive round between these two. We see, once again, the blitz creating space, causing damage, and making life tough for those on site. Unable to retain life in the late round. Taking the perfect counter there at the end, got the first. And then really snappy to be able to find the trade as well. Kaken has these really good moments at times, and that's another one on display.
I think it was actually more of a frustration clap more than a I've clutched it clap, but still 5-3 Man LFO scraped by. You'll take it any way you can. They get their first attacking round in the second half, a 2-round lead. Kaken's so close to clutching that.
10 seconds remaining.
And of the 3 consecutive opening kills for Arcade and for SHAIIKADEMY, only one of them has actually converted into a round win. So he's setting them up, but they just haven't quite been able to bring it home late in the round. 4 kills from Pluto in that round as well, by the way, and wins the 1v1 against Kaken. There goes 10-4, Elements 12-5, and those two have been sensational for Man LFO. Bunks and briefing for the first time in the second half. This is going to be the test for SHAIIKADEMY on the tertiary site. 3 nitros, 4 impacts. Explosive belt is at full capacity. Arcade is actually going to be the opening death this time rather than the opening kill. And that's a big hindrance now for the defense. But a big nitro cell from Sean shuts down the rampaging Elements and got some significant damage into the Blackbeard of Sharky. Hunter falls to Reelers, and finally SHAIIKADEMY can show poise in the middle portion of a round. Kaken 2, and it gets them 2, and SHAIIKADEMY flip it. They get the opening death and then 5 very quick kills.
Bang. Very, very snappy. And yeah, I mean, well rewarded the way in which they were able to set up that particular round. It just adds another layer of interest in this particular first map. And if this continues going forward, we are going to be in for a long best of 3. It does feel like as the map rather develops, they are getting increasingly better reads on one another. We do see the Mirror now and the Grim also taken out of play. I think the other number that I'm looking across at that's pretty intriguing for this matchup as well is the conversion rate in this series. It's 5-4. So of the 9 rounds played, only on 5 of those occasions has the open kill successfully being converted. Again, kind of plays in tandem with the survival stat we're seeing, where in a lot of these rounds there's only a couple of players left. There's a few exceptions to that, but generally speaking, we're also seeing a lot of early kills as well within the first minute, or very close to it as well. So both teams have been very eager to take these early fights, and I think it's testing a lot of the problem-solving skills late round, where we're seeing a lot of these situations where it's like 2v2, 3v3, or equivalent.
10 seconds remaining.
So yeah, we're just seeing these guys tested at the moment. The quality of the siege has been quite impressive to watch. We return to top floor then for round number 10.
Sophia mentioned that I remind her of you.
Do we see SHAIIKADEMY equalize this scoreline successful last time out on this site?
Try to get to
Reminder, this is SHAIIKADEMY's map pick. It on defense layer. In best position to retake the lead soon enough. Get the job done here on Master R6. It's 5-5 and having a good chance to run this lead down and eventually take it themselves. Four of the last 6 rounds, though, the opening kill has not been converted. So a lot of the round-defining plays have been in the middle and the late. Here's Arkham with another opening kill. It may have been the opening death in the previous round, but it did not matter. He does lose his life, though, at the window. Shant will fall as well at the same time. That's the Tachanka dead. Oh, Man LFO are shredding them here on top floor.
Jeez, I did not expect this.
They have one player inside the building.
Yeah, it looked really good at the opening there with Arcanum finding the opener onto Hunter, but the response has been very swift from this attack, and it's been pretty low risk and low investment as well. Like, they have so much utility now that they can work with for the remainder of the round. They have elements who can freely lurk below on the Deimos as well. This looked grim for SHAIIKADEMY. Nitro also unimpactful. Diffuser going down. No ability to deny.
Ronnie gonna try and make a last-ditch effort, but he's too late. Plank goes down. Both are very low. It's looking like it'll be a match point scenario for Man LFO. Kaken got one. Ronnie lost his life. Kaken's gonna have to do the impossible. Post plant. It's got about 30 seconds. Pulls out a shotgun, but a good fall back over towards bot main from Elements. He's not over-investing and pushing up into Kaken. And Sharky shield up. And no, there's no way that Kaken can win this. Too many angles. Pluto swings. He was low on health as well. 2 map points for Man LFO on the map pick of SHAIIKADEMY. As they take top floor, don't get it twisted. This still has a chance to go to OT. Defense less strong. Will they reinvest into a repeat on Master and R6 is the question now posed to SHAIIKADEMY.
Yeah, that top floor.
They're going to go lab.
Yeah, that hurts. It's an awkward position now where you can't... I mean, you could reattempt, but you probably do want to keep trying to switch it up here.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
No success though last time out on this site for SHAIIKADEMY. Man LFO in a good position now. If they're able to close out Lair Consulate, their pick up next. How much that accounts for? Well, probably a little bit limited based on what we typically see in this region, but
Attackers have
I think it's still
located
fair
a bomb.
to give them the respect that they deserve heading into that second map, that they would be touted as pretty firm favorites to be able to close out the series.
initiating jammer.
So let's jump in then. Match point round.
Vulcan set up and ready to blow.
Oh man, LFO able to get it done right here, right now. It's been a pretty big reliance on both Elements and Pluto in the fragging department so far. Again,
All the
they've been well
reliance.
facilitated. They've been well facilitated though. I think in terms of the shield play from Sharky's been quite good so far. The info gathering as well overall has been good. And yeah, Beers maybe hasn't been able to hit the scoreboard necessarily, but he's been flexing onto, you know, what he needs to still have impact with a lot of the utility-based ops so far.
And again, on the flip side, Arkham has had the last 4 opening kills for SHAIIKADEMY until Sean just went and did that. Kaken lost his life though at the hands of Pluto and Elements. Well, it's the Pluto and Elements show, but then 2 quick kills back from Arkham and Reelers. And this round is almost done. We've only played 50 seconds. Sharky now by himself. It's a strange old basement site. Sharky versus Sean and Reelers trying to just run him down through lockers.
Oh,
and Reelers though there for help. And SHAIIKADEMY stay alive here on Lair.
That was quite literally the definition of blink and you miss it. 50 seconds into the round and it's already whittled down to a 1v2. Again, playing in nicely with the stat that I was kind of alluding to earlier in terms of that opening engagement typically being within the first minute of the round or close to it, and that round was one of the more extreme examples of it. Maybe SHAIIKADEMY thriving a little bit more in the early round chaotic nature of that round. But now's the real test that they go back to the top floor. It's been won out successfully on a single occasion. They lost it out though back in round 10, and if they are to push it to OT, they need to find it on the 3rd attempt.
Anybody need a out! Wall reinforced.
I mean, typically, you'd probably back in SHAIIKADEMY to close this down. Master and R6, keep it
5 seconds
compact. Don't give them the ability to find kills from the exterior positions, which is exactly what happened last time.
I can't believe you never went to fashion.
And funnily enough, though, they got the opening kill. Yeah, Arcanum found the first pick at the 2-minute mark. So then it's a 5v4 defense Master R6, and you go and then lose that round the way that they did. To me, that just suggests that SHAIIKADEMY themselves could have played that far more defensively. And you would imagine based on this lineup and after what happened last time, that will be the case. They drop the Tachanka, they bring the Echo this time, so Sean can also get some extra information.
Swapping mags.
And the heavy emphasis on Elements and Pluto, like they just cannot be going down in fights. They need to be getting at least 2 kills each if you think Man LFO are going to win this round. As much as they're being aided by the others, they're the ones getting the kills. They need to stay alive.
Deploying drone.
Oh, more probing down below. 15 kills for Elements, and now plays a key role in this round in trying to unlock some Mez control, or if he selects, can transition below. He has 3 death marks available. It feels like the attack is waiting for him to try and unlock a bit of pressure, and then others can activate elsewhere. Oh, but it's Hunter to find the first. Okay, didn't see that coming. Beers as well.
Oh, Beers as well.
That's the trigger point.
And it's not even the 2 key fraggers. Kaken is down on the floor too. They've done it again. They've started to get Mesinops control, and it's all over. Sean by himself. The lone Echo. There's nothing he's going to be able to do from server. He drops. Doesn't get a chance to delay with the Yokai. And it's going to be a 7-5 victory for Man LFO on the map pick of SHAIIKADEMY. I'm not too sure what's going through the mind of Sean right now, but there's nothing you can do to win from that post-plant position. A bit of help from others, and in the end, a full team effort for Man LFO as they steal their opponent's map pick. A 7-5 victory on the opening map of Lair sets them up nicely in this upper matchup.
the best that this region has got to offer.
Well, certainly a fun one on Lair. Back and forth, guys, was the name of the game there. In fact, actually, after the first couple of rounds played out, from round 5 until the end of it, it was just 1-for-1. No real separation, back and forth. But the standouts very much for Man LFO, Elements and Pluto were sensational. Arkham tried his best for SHAIIKADEMY. And I think in the end, a pretty fair scoreline. But the bad news for SHAIIKADEMY is that was their map pick.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate nature of this result for them. But you're right, it very much was back and forth, both in round count, but in terms of just a lack of trends really being established elsewhere, outside of more like the server-wide stats in terms of, you know, the opening kill time, etc., and the lack of conversions, which was applicable to both teams in terms of opening kills going forward. The only other standout really was actually the multi-kill potential from Man LFO, as you alluded to before. Elements and Pluto absolutely popped off, even Beers with a 3k to kick things off, and you add on top of that an Elements clutch, Pluto clutch, etc. Those were the big difference makers. They had two players that were performing at a very high level inside of the server, and SHAIIKADEMY, decent team-wide effort, just lacked in a couple of really key moments, those close moments where it didn't go their way, hence why it was a 7-5 in the end. Now, look, as we've seen time and time again, winning the opposition's map pick, not the be-all and end-all. We're not going to count SHAIIKADEMY out from the series, but it does put them now in a pretty compromised position.
Yeah, I mean, especially learning the lesson even just from our last series that we played where, you know, sometimes funny things can happen and teams just end up taking each other's map picks. It's not, again, uncommon by any means. And there were good quality signs from SHAIIKADEMY, I think, on Lair as well to suggest that, yeah, they're going to be more than capable of going into the next map and still giving it a red hot crack. I mean, a 7-5 victory clearly suggesting that there wasn't a lot separating the back and forth nature. It's really just kind of that early burst, really, that we saw from Man LFO. That was the main determining factor, which is kind of funny because it was SHAIIKADEMY that got off the best start possible, attacking round on top floor Lair, and then it was just 3 straight from Man LFO, and then that was it. And then from there it was just back and forth. So we'll see what the console is going to bring for us in our next match, which again, it may be the map pick for Man LFO, but I don't want to be discounting SHAIIKADEMY at all. They still did a lot of really good things. Arkham was great in terms of getting opening kills. He went 4-2 in that department. Reelers 2-0 as well. So that was certainly one element where I thought they were quite strong on there. If they could bring that to Consulate, which Consulate is a map where you can certainly dominate in that area on both sides, attack and defense, and get a lot of those opening kills, and on a really big map as well, you can benefit greatly. The biggest downside for SHAIIKADEMY was they didn't win a single clutch, and they didn't have a single player get a multi-kill round at all. So in terms of the raw fragging power, the power of Elements and especially Pluto was a big difference between the two teams.
Yeah, and they were playing key operators of our Elements. I think most notably there on the Deimos, his ability to apply a lot of pressure early round, gain information, make the vert difficult to contest for the SHAIIKADEMY defense was very much a standout. And then Pluto as well, on the side of defense, he had a very versatile map pool. So that versatility is going to be important on a map like Consulate, and Man LFO will be looking to replicate that result here.
Alrighty, let's get into Consulate, the second map of the series. Again, it is an upper bracket match. The winner will play Enterprise next week in an upper bracket final. The loser drops to the lower bracket from here onwards. Big match coming up, Man LFO and SHAIIKADEMY moving to Man LFO's map pick of Consulate. Excited to see if we continue to get this back and forth style that we got on Lair, or if one of these two can really kick things off nicely on this second map, get out to an early lead and hold strong.
Yeah, I'll be eager to see how Man LFO are able to perform on attack, and if they can just kind of hack away at a few of these rounds, grind away, and give themselves a cushion to play off. I think Consulate can lend itself into being pretty versatile for attack these days. There's quite a few different options that you can try to deploy on pretty much all the sites. And I expect that these teams, I respect their depth. I think they'll be able to experiment with those as the match does develop. Second floor first up, the bands as well, Azami, Mirror, Monty, and, well, the Elements target there. Deimos is naturally very, very strong on this map, but identifying that he was particularly impactful back on Lair, and so Elements will now need to pivot onto something else for Consulate, at least to begin.
Reload! Setting Vulcan. Device set. Well done.
And Man LFA may not have played Consulate back on the first week, but it was the deciding map in their series. So even though this is their map pick today, and it wasn't last time out, it was still part of the pool. So comfortability for them is definitely going to be on the higher note. Whereas for SHAIIKADEMY, they banned it last week against 6 targets. Picked Lair as well, again 6 targets, won that 7-5, this time on the wrong side of it, losing 5-7. Release for SHAIIKADEMY. They begin on defense here on Consulate, which is now officially the most played map this stage for OCE. Fun little stat.
Activating drone.
Have all the maps been played?
They have.
Yeah.
Consulate sitting at a 58% defensive win rate.
Activated tracks.
Sounds about right. So the Solar Snake on Repel, again, a very, very powerful tech that can be deployed on that operator. Honestly, quite surprised that you can use it from the exterior of the building like that because it is so strong. You can gain information from relative safety. Oh, well, there's the risk of when you enter the building as Element's almost getting caught there. Takes a chunk of damage, but fortunately for him, not a headshot through the wall. So he'll survive. Ground now taken over towards admin side and Coffin as well. Sharky will identify the vending shield hold here. And they'll look to you to dump that position. Hunter to catch the rotation off, but as we can see with the benefit of outlines or the lack thereof over at the shield, it's already been vacated by the defense, and SHAIIKADEMY now need to play the backline for a pretty prolonged period of time here. I think Man LFO and their time management this round and their clearance and their pressure has been quite good.
Yeah, the only downside is probably the health of the Blackbeard and certainly Elements as well on the Snake. Swing attempt from Pluto. Doesn't connect towards long desk. Only 1 gas babe left for Sean, and there's 60 seconds in the round. Arcanum does have a nitro available as well, but the utility for the defense is starting to dwindle. Rani's going to play a lovely position here at long desk. Doesn't probably get the benefit that he was hoping for. Gets pushed out of that position. More space being taken by the attack. Realist with a nice double kill though onto Hunter and Beers. And puts SHAIIKADEMY in a very good position until that shot from Elements, and Rani falls to Pluto. The dynamic duo from the opening map are going nuts again. Pluto getting a second. Kaken pushes into sight. Elements can hold, wait for Pluto. They can push together, but Kaken gets the freebie. Didn't realize how up close Pluto had got. Didn't matter. What the hell are they doing? Just wait. Oh, they've given that one to Kaken on an absolute silver platter.
Yeah. Good work there. Kaken played it absolutely perfectly. Gets well rewarded. The filter effect, though, onto his position was a bit of a yikes. So they'll be looking to shake that one off going forward. It really should have been, with all the groundwork that had been established, should have been a pretty straightforward round conversion there for Man LFO. I'm just getting a little overeager there with their picks.
Why is Elements? I mean, you know what? Fair play to Kaken with the fact that he plays the crouch position perfectly so that he doesn't... If he's standing, he's just obviously dead. But by playing the crouch position, because of then that swing from Elements, he gets the 1v1. Even though he's in the middle of sight, he gets the 1v1. Whereas if he's standing, he's just going to get instantly traded. Probably dies to Pluto immediately. And so therefore, for Elements, why are you swinging in that position? Big clutch for Kaken. And you can see what it meant to him as well.
Yeah, I'll see if that knocks the confidence here of Man LFO, or if they're able to shrug that one off. I think, again, they should feel pretty comfy in how they're able to take the map control, but like a conversion there will hurt. Good opportunity, really good opportunity to tick off the primary attack, and we know how influential those can be as the rounds begin to stack over the course of a map.
Spec you active.
Roam here on the Solace of Reelers. Arcanum on the opposing side of admin as well, so extended across the map. SHAIIKADEMY. And LFO trying to cut these crosses, and Element's able to get some payback. Reelers with somewhat of an overpick that timeout. Probably looking for a bit more information than just the raw kill, but Elements does a good job in catching it.
Yeah, he got the opening kill in the first round, did Reelers, so probably a bit of a heat check moment. Gets shut down though. Logic Bomb rings out. Arcanum again has just been very solid for SHAIIKADEMY and gets rid of Elements on the Jackal. It's like an operator name that doesn't get called out all that often these days. Trade 1-for-1, Sharky and Arcanum both taking each other out. Leaves it in a 3v3. I think you're pretty content with that though if you're man LFO. Getting rid of the Solace and the Vigil, removing a lot of that roam pressure, knowing full well now that SHAIIKADEMY are pretty much going to have the remaining 3 in sight. Yes, you still got 2 Nitro Cells to deal with. And not ideal to lose a player of Elements' stature, but you get the hacked cams as well. Pluto's still alive. You're going to Logic Bomb, a couple of flashes, but into the Warden. It's a pretty even 3v3 heading into the final minute.
I think the playing into the Kaye without Imps is going to force the back hit, and SHAIIKADEMY should be able to read that. They'll be good enough to know that back hit's the only option. Garage can't get opened up. You just have to be careful of the yellow lurk, but
Push down Spiral and Server.
Yeah, they'll focus their attention rearward pretty quickly here.
But Kagan falls to Beers. So the back hit will be the play for man LFO. And you're right in the sense that SHAIIKADEMY really only need to keep their focus on one side, but now it's a 2v3,
But now
35
player
seconds.
advantage. They'll send someone yellow and they'll split the attack, or even vert, which is what Hunter will do now.
Playing the time nicely as long as they maintain good pace. Hunter a little slow of opening up the floorboards here over towards Expo. They have been stalled out a little bit. Sean is low on health. A runner across the doorway works. Rani and they're both dead. Okay, well, they had the numbers, and that to me just looked like the classic 3-2-1 go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well played from LFO. Really good round. They're on the board here for Consulate 1-for-1. We continue the back and forth from Lair over to Consulate.
Yeah, some good heads up stage there at the end. Beers did a good job in isolating Kaken and then giving them that advantage, just free them up a little bit more to send back above to split that attack a little bit so it wasn't overly one-dimensional.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
So credit
bombs.
to him. SHAIIKADEMY electing to go to the tertiary as opposed to the repick, understandably so. And we'll see how they go about defending the vert up above, contesting the front desk horizontal. And what man LFO would like to do, they've once again dipping into the shields. We've seen Sharky lean heavily into them. In fact, the last round out where he played the Thatcher has been the only round so far he hasn't played shield. He essentially alternated between the Blackbeard and the Blitz back on Lair. And so with just the Blackbeard and Blitz available here with the Monty Band out for Consulate, I expect we'll probably see that trend begin once more where he flips between the two.
I mean, the early signs, though, right now is man LFO looks switched on. They probably should have won the first round. Kaken with the 3K wins a 1v3 clutch, especially the 1v2 at the end. Could have easily been a 2-0 attacking style for man LFO on a defender-sided map, at least in the Oceanic region and how it's played this stage. Sharky will go for the skylight drop, top yellow. Imagine off the back of the information that they would have gathered. Logic Bomb rings out from Beers. And Sharky's just not really hearing a lot and just runs into the meat grinder. Yeah. I don't know what to make of that.
Didn't quite work out. Oh, the Element's probing here is dangerous. Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going to say he had info on site, but Sean, he wins that fight in the meantime. Goodness me.
Spin that mouse, Beers. He doesn't know how he's lost that battle. They still got the yellow ping. Great shot from Shant. They're just trying to put as much direct pressure into the side. Elements has been able to clear him, though, at the bomb chassis. 1-for-1 trades again. Leaves us into 2 versus 2. It's been hot and heavy to start here on Consulate. If not mine, still, you can spot Realers just in time. Headshot from Pluto. Gets rid of the mine, leaves Arcanum against the dynamic duo, who have started hot again here on Consulate. Elements and Pluto, already 10 kills each. Arcanum has to shut them down one by one. There's a minute left. You don't have to take these. Oh, you got the down onto Elements as well.
1v1.
Well, he's not going to let him crawl through the doorway. Oh, what a shot from Pluto. I'm not going to lie. I was about to say that Arcanum, I think, had him lined up perfectly. Pluto hits a wonderful headshot. Man, LFO will go back-to-back rounds, and their start so far in Consulate bodes well. Could have easily been a 3-0 start, if not for the clutch from Kaken. They're looking good.
Absolutely. And yeah, you take that one out of the equation, it would have been a very, very strong start. But still, they're showing good versatility in all the sides. I think that their approach to all the objectives has looked really well consolidated. They're working well as a team and kind of hitting the right notes in each round, which is a comforting feeling for them. Now, the bans for the remainder of the half, Denari and Blackbeard. So if we had to see a shield play, it would likely be the Blitz. Shot hit an amazing shot on site in this round. Unfortunate one for Beers. And then Arcanum up above on the vert. Highly impactful. And I tell you what, he was a fraction of a second away from winning that fight. Just better reaction time there from Pluto on the swing.
Yeah, but good reaction to also get that kill onto Elements through the beams. I mean, that's not an easy shot to hit. Set himself up to be in the best position possible to win the 1v2. This is the numbers right now. I mean, like, so Elements and Pluto have got, well, Elements have got 21, Pluto's got 20. The next highest kills, this is across the series, is Beers with 7. For Man LFO, that is a staggering goal. Whereas the side of SHAIIKADEMY, 15 for Arcanum, 12 for Kaken, 11 for Shant, and 10 for Realers. Like, you got 4 players double digits versus 2, but you're losing the series. Rani is really struggling at 3 and 13, 0-1 on the entry, and a 40% cost. He's not really been able to have the involvement he would like in this series. But the recipe is there really for SHAIIKADEMY. If you can find a way to shut down Elements and Pluto, Men LFO are vulnerable, very vulnerable. Easier said than done, though.
So the attack trying to isolate Arcanum. Oh, and almost works out for Elements. Here again, from this repel, we're able to find that ping and now see that Arcanum has rotated back across. Pluto getting a live droned up spiral. There's some playmaking potential here if he could find a good timing, especially on the Nook. Second drone to follow. You'll call out the vending play.
Oh, it's a good lurk.
Oh, Pluto.
Oh.
Doesn't win the duel, but something to keep the defense honest.
Got rid of the Vulcan canister as well. Popped that nice and early. Razor Bloom was triggered by Sharky. And not what you want as the Nook as well. Now you're low on health. Just that lurk factor. You're not going to feel as confident and comfortable moving around the map. So probably now puts a bit more onto the shoulders of Elements in this round on the Solid Snake. Higher angled position on long desk for Rani, but he's going to be thinking about changing this up. He's got Realist for company. Human stepped on by Hunter. The push coming through from Man LFO. Looking to clear out vending. And Pluto's just in the sit and wait position as Hunter finds the opening kill. And Pluto's going to be careful though, because that long desk position is double watched. He did go down to Reelers. He probably wanted to get in on the action, but did so a little bit too soon. Sharky now pushing in as well. Rani very, very low as Reelers got beaten up over towards long desk. Good push from Sharky on the blitz. Charging on up. Gnarly little impact though from Rani. Gets a big kill, but he's by himself, trapped, and men LFO make it 3 straight. It's a sense of deja vu. SHAIIKADEMY win the opening round. Men LFO make it 3 straight. It's Lair all over again.
Yeah, just another good little wave attack there from Man LFO. Sure, Sharky goes deep with Diffuser, but because there's been so much pressure mounted elsewhere and they are clearly communicating in a really good manner at the moment, it was pretty simple and straightforward to trade that out and convert the round. Good patient attack. It was a little slow going, but it was also just the nature of the objective and the setup. They weren't really actually being, stalled out because they weren't making plays or clearing utility. So really good work from Man LFO. They've now got a significant lead on attack. Collins replay package of that prior round. I love the good early pressure here that was established over towards top spiral. And sure, it didn't quite work out in the end. What that allowed though was for the likes of Sharky to get active and others to lay a utility and then create all of that space off the back. So a well formulated attack.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds remaining.
I mean, the concern really for SHAIIKADEMY is the fact that Consulate has had really good success in defense in this region. Of the 31 rounds played, 18 won on defense, 13 won on attack, and you're 3-1 down on your defensive half. And the nightmare scenario is again continuing the fact that Elements and Pluto are just dominating. And then throw in the good shield play from Sharky, who is happy to just sacrifice his KD, play the ultimate support role. And Beers and Hunters getting some crucial kills, and well, yeah, it doesn't bode well. Kaken can't get anything with the Nitro. It just feels like it's falling apart now for SHAIIKADEMY in just even the little areas. And that's forcing Reelers and Arcanum to probably think, do we have to get aggressive here?
Reelers drops. Looking to garner information outside of the garage breach, but the majority of this push is on the opposing side, and with the EMP onto the Electro Claw, that should be pretty straightforward. Good util management from Hunter. And there's already pressure now mounting in towards the objective, and once Sharky is able to get in there, this is looking a little dangerous for SHAIIKADEMY.
And they've left Beers at the breach as well.
Yeah, good pinch pressure.
Arcanum knows he needs to be impactful on the bot spiral push down as Pluto gets the opening kill onto Cake, and no Warden, so no glasses now for the smokes and the flashes available for the attack. Sharky falls to the Nitro Cell of Shant, but the immediate trade from Pluto, slip in from Reelers, though, is very effective. He gets a double kill, but then just running around to the corridor. Elements is ready. He gets them both. Reelers and Arcanum. Yeah, Reelers made an impact and got the 2 kills. But credit goes the way of Pluto and Elements again. They're just so quick and switched on. Nothing Runner can do against the rampaging Pluto. Make it 4 straight for Man LFO, who are now 3 rounds away from booking their place in an upper bracket final next week. They are this close.
Wow. Yep. They're looking like they're in a commanding position at the moment. It prompts a timeout from SHAIIKADEMY. Do they have what it takes to dig deep and start a bit of a bounce back effort here? It's 4 in a row for Man LFO. And I can only imagine that the messaging from Sali here is to just keep at it. You guys are playing really well. I think their game plan that they've looked to implement is working nicely. They're playing the fundamentals well. Splitting these attacks nicely. Everything feels like it's in sync as well, which is a testament to the team. So, especially when you consider round number 1, which was off the back of, yes, a good play from Kaken, but largely a throw from Man LFO. I think their ability to recompose here and play really well off the back of that is to be commended.
It just feels like the resistance is a little bit broken now for SHAIIKADEMY on Lair. It's just kind of holding on for dear life with the back and forth round wins. But again, you know, kind of when we came into this map, and I'm sort of trying to frame where a lot of the success for Man LFO is coming from in terms of Pluto elements, multi-kills, clutches, getting plant out. Like a lot of these elements were all going the way of Man LFO. There was nothing really for SHAIIKADEMY. The rounds that they were winning, which they were, there wasn't a lot really to it. They kind of just won some gunplay fights, or they maybe got a pick onto Pluto or elements early. So a good example is back on Lair. Twice Pluto had the opening death. SHAIIKADEMY won both of those rounds. So you taking away, you know, pretty much 50% of the firepower of Man LFO with one of those two going down early. You clearly SHAIIKADEMY's win percentages up on Lair, but they haven't done that at all in Consulate. You know, credit to Elements and Pluto, no opening deaths so far, so they've stayed alive. They've been impactful. They both already had a multi-kill each. Pluto with a 1v1 clutch. And the most damning part of this is for SHAIIKADEMY, the one round they won was a cake and clutch. It's been an incredibly dominant attacking half from Man LFO, forcing Realist for a jump out, and it works. Shuts down Sharky. Big play for Realist.
Yeah, that's really nicely played. The benefit of the shotgun being that obviously you don't need to ADS, and given the jump out change, it's one of the strengths of that particular play style if you execute it correctly. And by taking Sharky off the board, that's going to alleviate quite a bit of pressure. The blitz has been impactful. So that's good work. Okay, Man LFO maybe lurk though back into positions of power. We see Hunter Service stairs, and Kaken does fall.
Oh, double Razor Plume was set up nicely. Catches Beers off guard. He goes down. Will get brought back up, but there was a lot of little setup from Reelers that he put earlier into the round as Pluto 2 falls. Yeah, Kaken did fall, but SHAIIKADEMY maintained the advantage. Welcome to the match, Rani, as Pluto says.
So minute 30, and they have the snake, so they can still look to gain information, but in terms of breaking these crosses, it's going to be tough because you can't naturally play for trades. You need to somehow try and create favorable fights and win them in a straight-up fashion, in a heads-up fashion. So this will be tough. They have a couple of flashes they could maybe play off. Lack of explosives, though, should mean that the nail is in the coffin for this round, barring some kind of big solo play, whether that be like Elements up Spiral or Yellow or something. It feels very low percentage from here.
Yeah, and 50 seconds left doesn't really leave them with now too much time. They need to start figuring it out right here, right now. Elements towards Spiral. If he can win this battle and clear out a way through Spiral, it could unlock the round for them. Just a 1-for-1 trade elsewhere. Beers goes down to Rani. Hunter got a kill onto Arcanum, though, and it's suddenly a 2v2. Gun into the wall. And I think that might have distracted him. Rani was just sitting long desk. That's a big kill from Rani, and Shont gets one too. Well, that's at least a good way to close the half for SHAIIKADEMY, but they do still find themselves playing from behind. A 4-2 lead for Man LFO as we swap roles. So a big first half from Man LFO. They get the 4 attacking rounds. They go defense now, set themselves up nicely. Their map pick, they're in cruise control. They do drop the final round of the half. And really, the best round that we saw from SHAIIKADEMY, it started off with the realist jump out, which got rid of the blitz, and that really kind of set the rest of the round up.
Yeah, big round and a big half coming up. We'll see whether or not SHAIIKADEMY have it in them to fight back here on attack into Collins at a deficit. It's going to be a pretty challenging task. Double shield ban as well to compound that pain for the map clear. And they'll be reliant on blitz from Shant in this half. Defensively, Azami and Goyo, they'll be off the board, but that's pretty par for the course. Top floor to follow.
Attackers need to
And
locate and defuse
yeah, I'm
the
curious
safe
as to what's
bomb
maybe been
position.
discussed over the course of that 2-minute break, particularly from the side of SHAIIKADEMY as to what they want to do heading into the second half, whether or not the state of the game, does that kind of change their approach and their strategy at all? Maybe not. Could just be a case of backing them and their systems in for this particular half, but
Well, they're going to only have 3 rounds with the blitz. They know that. We all know that. Man LFO
got-
just
yeah,
banned
right.
Monty Blackbeard blitz every single time when they're on defense. Every single map, doesn't matter. And that's what they've done so far. And so, you know, sometimes when you think about blitz plays,
Seconds to insertion.
there's a couple of ways you can, of course, play it. But if you ever did think about having a fast attacking round strat based off of a blitz,
Attackers are moving
it can't be
to locate the
used
bomb and defuse it.
after the 3 rounds have expired in this second half. They kind of have to bring it somewhat early. And then that's in itself, when you're 4-2 down, the questions that get kind of posed. So it'll be curious to see how they play around the blitz for the first 3 rounds. And then knowing full well, they're not going to have the blitz. And so they'll have to have essentially 2 sets of strategies because of the shield bans from Ben LFO. Oh, this could be good from Beers if he times this nicely. He's just waiting and waiting, and the patience pays off while he doesn't get rid of the blitz. Shot is low, and he got the kill onto Arcanum. A lovely set play from Beers. And this round is over before it even begun. As soon as they tried to drop down top yellow, they're just met with so much utility and pressure. Kaken and Shot, of course, fighting as they possibly can, but low on health. And while they only got the 1 kill, what do you do here for the next 2 minutes? Oh!
okay, traded,
Nice.
traded.
Yeah, I was going to say, lovely pistol shot onto Beers. Kagan has pulled off a 1v3 clutch, though, on this map already before. This one should prove to be quite a bit more difficult. Lion scan goes out. That's the last one he has available. No drone in pocket, no frag grenades either. Funnily enough, won his previous clutch from this position inside of meeting, but this time it's a whole different ball game. Doesn't have the kit, needs to push, needs to find the positions of these defenders.
Walking into a 3-man cross.
He's playing this well because he's essentially just trying to see, does someone pick a doorway? Does someone make one step a little too far on a peek attempt? And then that gives me a 1v1. But no one makes a misstep at all. Man LFO back to regular programming for them after losing the final round of the first half. They get back into the winning position and they take a 5-2 lead from here, setting themselves up for a spot in that upper final. If SHAIIKADEMY do lose this, it'll be a lower bracket position awaiting them next week.
Yeah, clean work from Beers in that last round. Massive nitro over towards yellow. Doesn't allow that position to get flooded. The Banshee alongside the barbed wire playing a supporting role in that round. SHAIIKADEMY tried to go for the full commit, and it definitely fell short of the mark. Top floor, though, losing that a little more forgivable.
Location of a bomb.
I say that, but in the same breath, it is also the context of this matchup, given how the first half played out. You're going to have to win it at some point, so perhaps later on they can correct that, but for now it's down to basement for round number
10
8.
seconds to go.
The blitz pick to persist.
5 seconds to insertion.
Maybe I'll see a similar kind of push to what Men LFO actually deployed, with majority on the back hit, and then you can work reelers on the main breach for the split pressure.
And you've got to be winning these rounds now as well if you're SHAIIKADEMY while you still have the blitz available. So first go at it, failure. Now you got 2 more opportunities to use this blitz. So even if, you know, Sean can have success on it and they win the next 2 rounds, it becomes 5-4, then the blitz is gone. And look, I mean, the blitz is not the be and all. It's beatable, as we just saw in the previous round, and they can win without it. But it is going to be something that's predetermined in this second half in terms of that ban will come through. So if you do want to use it, if you do feel like you need it to help facilitate these entries, you've got to make the most of it now. That's better. But see, Arkadem can make that entry because he's got a bit of help from Sean on the blitz. So you won't have that in the next couple of rounds after the next one. Advantage for SHAIIKADEMY. It's all about now making the most of this. Again, information for Sean on the blitz. Nothing Pluto can do but shoot the shield. And the blitz play allows them to already be in this server position. They're going really, really quickly here.
A really big fucking hole coming right up.
Just about patience now at this point. Probably trying to draw out a little bit of utility. 3 gas babes, nitro. SHAIIKADEMY don't need to be too forceful at this point just yet.
Drone's ready.
Hunter, though, is able to pluck one. Okay. He's done a good job over towards that pillar position. And while he is beat out, there's not really much that the attack can do just yet. Sean, frontline, security, finds the kill onto Pluto. Reelers as well.
Good back hit. Here comes Elements, though. Got a bit of damage into Arkadem. Stuck in towards security. They lost Pluto, so it's all onto Elements now to clutch up alongside Hunter. Oh, what a headshot. Huge control of the SMG from Hunter. And now can allow Elements to get some pressure in from behind. And he hits the shot onto Reelers. Well, this could be the nail going into the coffin. Arkadem knows he's pinched. He's got to try and push, take the fight with at least one of them. Hunter was low, 30 seconds. And Elements is on the move. Good shooting from Arkadem to open up more lines of sight and try and take this battle. Rather than just opting to go grab kit and stick it, he is trying to put the pressure onto Elements. Now goes for the kit. Now trying to find the position to go for the plant. But Elements is on the move. He's reading this perfectly. Elements is already up close. He's at the pillar. Now Arkadem, you have to go for the kill. But Elements plays that perfectly. What positioning? He's wondering, what is he doing?
I think they're both
Match
just as
point.
confused as each other. But for different reasons. Match point, you're right. Wow, man, LFO have really shone through here on this second map. Did not anticipate such a, what may end up being snappy 2-mapper. Overall, their team play has just been absolutely on point, and even in these kind of advantageous positions, SHAIIKADEMY are finding it so difficult to get over that final hurdle right here, 4-2. But the flank unaccounted for. Elements has continued his good run of form. And then Hunter's done a really good job to stay alive as long as he did. And gave Elements just the perfect opportunity to hit another big play in this series.
So 4 opportunities for Man LFO to close this out, and deservedly so. They've had the best patches of play. They've had the 2 best players.
10 seconds
Just
left
hasn't
before
worked out
insertion.
for SHAIIKADEMY here on Consulate. Lair was far more competitive. Maybe a missed opportunity for them on that map. 4 rounds needed on the attack Consulate. It was done by Man LFO in the first half. But after this round, the blitz goes away as well. And it doesn't help that Arkadem is already down to half health this early on into the round. Who has been a real standout for SHAIIKADEMY alongside Reelers. Sean's had some good impact plays. Kaken has always been good in the clutch, but outside of the clutch moments, Kaken has been quiet at times. And Reelers goes down straight away. The snake dealt with already by Hunter.
Good start. Can SHAIIKADEMY try and find a response in this particular round. It seems like they're eager to head the blitz up above, try and contest this vert. And LFO being disciplined though, not over peeking into this. Echo providing info, and it's the assist onto Hunter.
Yeah, I don't see how you win in this one now. Elements can get involved. They've taken, again, the repositional space over towards this hallway. Can't clear out vending, so that's forced the attack back down to just shot and Kaken. And it looks like it may be flawless, and indeed it will. Man, LFO make quick work on Consulate. It's a 2-0 series as they progress to an upper bracket final versus Enterprise next week. For SHAIIKADEMY, they go to the lower bracket.
Good work there for Man LFO, a 7-2 in what ended up being a very quick series for them. Just overall, honestly, the teamwork that these guys displayed was great. Sure, you look at the numbers and you're going to be walking away thinking, oh wow, this was just an Elements and Pluto farm show, but I genuinely do think that the teamwork, the drone work, the utility usage across the board from these guys was great. Round 1 was definitely a low light. If they could have that one over, they would, but from essentially that point onwards, they played really well.
Yeah, solid series for Man LFO. Elements Pluto leading the way for their team. By the end of it, they combined for 55 kills between the two of them. 31 to Elements, 24 to Pluto. And a solid performance. You know, it's interesting as well for those two. They didn't even really dominate on the entries. I mean, the 2-0 for Elements, 1-2 for Pluto, with those two coming on, or those two opening deaths coming on Lair. It was actually Hunter who was predominantly the one involved in a lot of the opening engagements for the side of Man LFO, going 4-4. Unfortunate for SHAIIKADEMY, but they did have some okay moments. I mean, Kaken in the clutch. We saw Arcanum have some really good moments too, where he was involved in, like Hunter, a lot of the opening engagements. Went 5-4 in the end, 4-1 for Reelers too in the opening kills. He had 15 kills, so did Sean. So, I mean, you can kind of walk away with your SHAIIKADEMY and think, yeah, maybe on a different day we could have either won or been certainly even more competitive on that second map. But 7-5 on the map of Lair, which obviously was their map pick. They probably maybe would feel as if they could have done enough to win that one, and then who cares really then about Consulate. I don't think there's a massive gap between the two teams, but where there was a massive gap was very much the likes of Elements and Pluto, and certainly Elements when it came to the map of Consulate, as he went absolutely nuts with an 18-4 performance, over 200 EPS, is always something to be noteworthy. We've got our interview coming up with Beers to chat with us after the win for Man LFO. Beers, congratulations. You're into an upper bracket final versus Enterprise, but I do have to ask, how easy is it for you when you can just sit back and watch Elements and Pluto do their thing?
Good. They're killing them all. It's easy for us.
Good work today, mate. I mean, straight away, we'll look at the next game. Obviously, that's probably going to be more of a talking point than that one. EP, are you guys confident going into that one? Have you seen enough weakness that you guys can be competitive?
Yeah. John, Hunter and Sally hard to work, so I think they'll be able to pick them apart with the dub.
Cool.
What about for you guys as a team coming into this stage? What were the goals that were set? And I guess, are you meeting those goals now, considering you're in an upper bracket final?
Our goal is probably to win the kickoff stage. We're one of the teams that stayed together, so not really many excuses. We have had a few role changes and then Elements come in, obviously, but I think we can do it.
And last one before I let you go, but obviously, as we've been speaking about, you got Enterprise next week. Do you just go into that entirely focused on yourselves and what you guys can do, or do you put a bit of work into what they've been doing so far in kickoff?
No, we'll just play the rounds in front of us. Not rely too heavily on prep, but yeah, I think pick them apart. Got Hunter, he's the best RGL in the region, so be good.
Anything you want to say, Beers, before we let you go?
Yeah. Reelers 2-0 against him. Can't stop us.
Alrighty, that's it. That's all. That's it. I'm expecting more from you.
No, let's leave it at that.
No
I'll see you guys
Paul,
next week
no
for the
Shan,
interview.
none of that.
Oh, shout out Shan, obviously. I know you're in the
come on,
region.
mate. I'm doing it for you at this point.
Shout out Nikki. That's another one.
Ooh.
Shout out Michelle. I'll leave it there.
All right, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Beers. All right, let's move on to our schedule as we've got Team Adios and Rock LFO coming up for our next game, which certainly will not be starting at 7 p.m. That's for sure, guys. It's going to be starting pretty soon. It does mean for Rock LFO back into the server for them. They've had a small little break. Watching along the Man LFO game, or at least preparing for Adios, but excited for this one. A lower bracket game with a lot on the line.
Yeah, they'll probably be thankful actually that second series didn't drag on all too long. Maybe cut their prep short, but honestly, they probably had enough of an opportunity to reset without getting too tired sitting around waiting. So you're very, very eager for that next matchup. It should be a really good one to close the night.
All right, well, we're going to head to a break. When we do come back, we are going to be seeing Adios and Rock LFO fight for their tournament life.